more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Good morning, Westfield. Welcome to Tiger Talk Live, all things Westfield Technical Academy. Back for the 2022-2023 school year, in the flow with Carol, Kev, and Joe. A trifecta of entertainment delight on this fine Thursday morning.
I guess we found out who's bringing us in.
Yeah.
Mr. Langoni is.
Well, I just happened to have...
We knew.
No, you were ready.
We knew
I was ready.
wasn't going to bring us in.
We weren't ready.
And that would be me.
Yeah.
So good morning, everyone. It's great to be back.
It is good to be back. And Carol, congratulations. I think we need to start the show off with, if you were listening to the show last year, Carol was on the hot seat a lot. And it was sort of like...
my book.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
Pete, I'm just talking with the Facebook poll that we took. It was like Survivor Island, and she kept winning every week. And
even though you tried voting me off each week.
She is. Mrs. Groom is a very, very stiff competition, even on the simplest days around here.
Yeah, and you ended up winning Survivor. Like, I think your
Well, here
votes
I
were
am.
top. You're
So
on. Lucky
this,
you.
This is my prize?
Yes.
Oh,
Lucky.
Yeah, that's it. We're your prize. Lucky you.
yeah. Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Mrs. Groom, what have we been? What did we miss over the summer, and what's going on here since you are now the lead of the show?
No.
So let's
Well,
take us
we know
in.
that is not true.
It's great to be back.
It is. You know, it's almost like we never left.
Some of us haven't.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Other than 2 weeks in July.
Yeah.
Very captive
It
audience.
was just a quieter building over the summer.
Mr. Coles, how we doing today? Good to hear that.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're doing fine.
Yeah.
I turned on my mic. I figured I was done for a while.
Well, we haven't talked to you either, and we're.
I've been here most of the summer.
Yeah, I've seen you around, and we do want to this year get the kids more involved in the show. I know we had Emerson. Was it not Emerson?
No, wrong program.
That
Mr.
was
Daly.
Curtis.
Curtis has been producing the show.
Yes.
We want to get him back too.
Yes.
And we want to get some more kids worked in. I know Coles and Forney, our radio instructor.
Coles and Corny.
Coles
Put
and
them
Forney.
together.
Well, we're working on getting them to the Big E. So.
Oh, really?
Corny or
Yes.
Foles, your choice.
Yeah.
So are we broadcasting live from the Big E next week?
Not this year. No.
No, actually, Pete and I were talking about that the other
Next
day when
year.
I came down. Next year looks like a real strong possibility.
Oh,
Well,
that
what
would
I'm
be
thinking about
cool.
doing though is taping the shows in the afternoon, so that we can air them the next morning. Because more
okay.
people around.
Yeah.
The biggest thing in knock was there was nothing going on at the Big E at 6 o'clock in the morning. I
Oh,
said,
true.
there is.
Well,
Yeah.
There's a lot going on at the Big E at 6 o'clock in the morning, but it's not. a lot of
Hello,
people around.
Farmer-rama.
No,
has
there's
anybody been in the
vendors.
barns?
It's crazy in there in the morning.
yeah, there's just a lot of it isn't necessarily accessible to the public at that hour of the morning.
Correct. Yes. So I'd like to tape in the afternoon for shows the next morning. I'd like to set up a tent in the new Big E Chill Zone.
What is the
Wow.
Big E Chill Zone?
It's the area between the Better Living Center and the Brooks Building and the main stage, that triangle there. And they're bringing a lot of local businesses in that area. I'd love to get a tent up near the main stage area and kind of operate out of that.
So I'm just you may not know the answer to this. Why Chill Zone? What?
It's just a marketing thing they're trying.
Interesting.
chilling
Instead
out.
of having like national vendors there, or the Ginsu knife guy, it's all going to
One
be
of
local.
my all-time
It's
favorites.
going to be all local businesses in that area.
Ginsu knives and Salad Master cooking ware.
Absolutely, yeah. The Spin Master.
That's it.
Maybe I could pick up a ShamWow while we're over there.
Sure.
Those are always good. Yeah. So that's good. So we got some potential cool things coming down the road
Yes.
for the radio show. And eventually, the perfect thing is we have a kid come on here and literally run the show
That would be great.
and phase me out.
Oh, no,
That would be
Mr.
great, right, Mrs.
No,
You're about
no,
to say that.
no.
No.
Demerit.
We would
Okay.
be severely hampered without your talents.
You are
and
the
ability,
show,
Mr.
Mr.
Daly.
So I found an interesting thing that we
I
might
wouldn't
like
go that
to.
far.
Pete,
he has very modest victories. We have to give him what he deserves.
I'll take
He's
it.
got good range.
I'll take anything I can get, especially with the hallway cadre and the bus monitor from Avalon Junior High.
Student cadre.
Student cadre bus patrol.
Pete, I have to tell this because I'm sitting next to two military. I mean, what do we call you guys?
We were actually we were public safety.
Yeah, and it was prestigious.
It was in those days.
Carol was the bus police. She used to yell at kids when they put their fingers out
I
the
was
window.
a crossing guard at Holy Cross.
Oh my
I-
God!
I had
All right.
I had the whole thing and the
You
badge and
know-
everything.
I feel like I'm in
Yeah.
a
I
I
Twilight
think
Zone
I made
right now.
sergeant.
You know,
Sergeant?
listening to this,
Crossing
I
guard?
think
Yeah,
we
it was
all
green.
know that Kevin was on the other side of.
I had my
the
arms out the
safety,
window of the bus.
Right?
Mrs. Daly Sr., Kevin's mother, would attribute it to his status in the family as a third child.
That's it. That's
You know, Mr. Langoni, he is the third child.
it. Anything for attention. That's
So good morning,
middle
Ann
child.
Daly, if you're out there, good morning, and thank you for that.
Yep, that's me. The old black sheep.
Well,
Yep, that's okay.
that's me too.
That's it. That's right. We're the survivors of the group.
That's right.
That's it.
I'm the middle child.
All right, so
Cadre bus monitor.
Yeah.
Padre, Joe was given demerits in the hall for having gum
Slow
in his
down.
mouth on the kid.
Slow down in the library.
You were
corner.
1 mile an hour over
And
the
now look
walking
at us.
limit.
That's it.
I love it. Okay, so let's go back to Westfield Tech, guys. I didn't mean to get us derailed right there.
Moderately.
We, as you know, we talk about everything Westfield Tech, from sports to Skills USA to all the promos we do and all the things we do outside of the
Outreach.
community and outreach and all that things, all those things. I thought, and Joe, it was a good idea that we bring back Jake Cooper. When we left in June,
Yep.
was going down to Atlanta, Georgia, to compete in the National Skills USA competition for diesel.
Prestigious
mechanic.
prestigious in its own right, but the more so because Jake was a junior at the time, and typically the students that are going to nationals are graduated seniors.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Jake's got a second opportunity this year as well.
Yeah. And we'll wait till Jake gets on, but there's some interesting things about him and going down in competing in the diesel field because it's sort of a program we don't even offer. So
Right.
it's pretty crazy. So
It is.
we have Jake coming on. I think I saw him.
He's out in the wings. Oh, Jake Cooper!
So we're going to bring Jake
Come
on,
on
and then
down.
we're going to talk about that and Skills USA, what's going on. So that's going to be just a little recap and get everything going on with Mrs. Belargin, too. Mrs. Belargin is our Skills USA supervisor with no chair.
Chair
so-
behind the
Oh,
door.
behind the door, Mr.
doing that.
Daly. Wait.
So we'll get going with those guys. Let's talk quickly. We got the restaurant open, right, Mrs. Groom? We'll talk about the
Yes,
menu
we
later.
can- Yes, I have that.
But
today.
the restaurant is open. It was open yesterday.
Yeah.
Grand
and it's-
opening yesterday.
And it's open today, and we open at 10:30.
10:45.
10:45. We'll get to the menu later.
Yep, I have that.
But we just want to let everybody know that we're up and running in the restaurant and ready to go. So if you guys got some time and want to
Absolutely.
get a great meal, come on by.
Yes.
And,
And up and running in general, too, and hopefully we'll be able to throw out some stats at some point, about our current enrollment, our freshman class,
yep. Yeah, we can
and
do
so
that.
forth
sure.
as well.
Sure. And we got welcome, Mrs. Belargeron and Mr. Cooper. How you doing?
Mrs. B, no stranger to Tiger Talk Live by any means.
Remember, you got to really get into the mic here.
Good morning,
Yeah.
everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah. Good. So what's we got you on because we were talking about who can we start the show off with. We thought it would be great with Jake because over the summer he got to go to nationals. You've gone to nationals before. I think where did you go? Nashville? Was that the electric one?
It used to be in You're pulling it out of my brain, but Louisville,
Oh,
Kentucky.
that's what it was, Louisville. Yeah.
Very fun.
And this year was Atlanta, Georgia, which is cool. So why don't you tell us, Mrs. B? Why don't you tell us about the process, how we got there with Jake, and then tell us about what happened down in Atlanta, and then we'll get Jake's input.
Okay, so Skills USA, for those that don't know, it's a big national organization, and it really helps provide that American workforce skill gap. We're really, with all the trades, getting a skilled worker for the American workforce. And so we start our state membership. We're a chapter school here at WTA, and we had about 60 members, and we started off with a district competition in our online. In our cafeteria, we had 60 people taking a hands-on theory written computer test, and Jake got a gold medal in the diesel equipment technology. And from there, we went over to a state competition over at Blackstone Valley, and to proceed to nationals, you need to get a gold medal. So Jake got the gold medal there.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
And from there, it was a lot of planning and organizing, and we did have a little bit of a snafu. We were supposed to arrive down in Atlanta early in the morning on Monday. School had ended,
Yeah.
and I was in Vermont doing some things, and I talked to Mr. Rainey and Jake, and they were all set. They've confirmed their flights at 8 p.m. at night. They're all set. And I got home a little after midnight. I went to confirm my flight. It's all canceled. So it was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And they're telling us that we're on a flight for the next day on Tuesday, when Jake's got an orientation meeting on Tuesday, and we're like, we can't miss any of that.
You road tripped it, didn't you?
No, so yeah, we did. 2 hours, about 2 hours on hold with Delta.
Yeah.
And I managed to squeeze us into, instead of going out of Bradley,
Yeah.
we went out of Boston.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Smith Vocational was very nice to give us a ride down. We met over there and traveled in their school van. So they had their cohort was going out of Boston.
Nice collaboration between CTE schools.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
tell me.
Everybody in Massachusetts is a team once you get there. So just Team Massachusetts.
Here goes. So, Mr. Rainey, grab a chair, Mr. Rainey. He's coming on. They started without you. Mr. Rainey, we'll get to him too because he
Sure,
was part of that.
I'm just telling the travel.
So can I ask a question about the gold? So you qualified for a gold, Jake, right? And does that mean do multiple people get golds in diesel, or is it just one?
Just one for
Just
the state.
one. Okay.
Just one for the state.
So you pumped in a gold twice to get you qualified for the nationals, and then that was it. And you guys had
Right. So district competition, the one we do online here, you can get a gold or silver to qualify to attend states.
okay.
So we've had a silver medal winner in medical math, and then study, and take the gold.
Take the gold.
In
So silver would get
states.
you into states,
Yep.
but after that, it's gold all the way.
Gold only.
Nice. Okay, so you guys took a flight. All three of you went.
Yep.
Jake, can I ask you a question? This is sort of, and guys, you can chirp in too. But was it weird traveling with teachers like outside of school? Because I think that would have been weird.
It was a little strange at first.
Yeah.
I over time though we got used to each other
Besties.
a little bit. Yeah.
That's
It wasn't very awkward
No.
after like the first hour or so.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you do discover very quickly that we are human even outside of the school building, right?
Yes, it's not just school and then go home and not doing anything.
that's
Not that ever happens.
right. Not that ever happened. So that's cool. So you guys make it to Logan, and you fly down. Everything's seamless after that. No issues. How was the weather down there?
Hot.
Was it?
Very
Mr.
hot.
Rainey, you can come in too. We can try to squeeze 3 microphones into, or three people into one mic.
Oh, very cozy.
Yeah. Mr. Rainey, tell us your perspective. How did it go down there? Travel and all that prior to the competition.
I think it went fairly smooth. I mean, just like the hiccup you were talking about just on the flight getting canceled. But, I mean, that's nothing I'm not used to. Or working on cars, there's always problems that
Right.
pop up. So,
From a teacher standpoint, what is your role you get Jake down to the place that he needs to be, obviously, and then what's your role after that? Do you tutor him, Mr. Rainey? Do you guys talk shop a little bit?
Yeah, so of course we discussed some of the things in the competition. Plus side is they had some stuff set up, and then from prior years we have some sort of idea of what's going to be in the competition. So, obviously we get there, we get settled in. Eventually we go down to the floor where we can see where some of the stuff is set up. We can't see a ton other than, the names of the stations, and they have some stuff set up, but we don't know exactly what they want. But kind of, we get an idea of what the test may be, what they may be doing. And then me and Jake, we had some conversations on, okay, well, you might be using this tool to measure run out. We need to make sure you know how to do that. And then I tell him how to do it. And then, he had some homework to go in his room and go on YouTube or the internet and try to research some stuff, study some stuff. So my role, of course, chaperone, but at the same time provide input on what I think should be studying. Right.
So I have a question. How does a student in our auto tech program reach the level where he's able to compete for gold in an area that we don't offer as a program here at the Technical Academy? It's a related area, but we don't do diesel mechanics here. That's actually a separate Chapter 74 area.
Yeah.
How did this unfold?
Couple reasons. I'll say our part in it, and then Jay can explain where he gets his knowledge of it from. But you're right. We don't talk much about diesel. I'm not going to say we don't talk about it at all. We have diesels come in the shop from now, every now and then, and we work on them. Comparing diesel to gasoline engines, there's not a ton that's different, really. It seems like, I guess, if you compare it to a tractor trailer to a Honda Civic, it seems like there's a lot that's different. But really, and we just discussed this in class yesterday, there's not much different other than how the fuel mixture is ignited, right? Obviously, we have diesel fuel, we have gasoline. Those are two different things. Okay, do not ever put diesel fuel in your car. Don't ever put gas in your diesel vehicle. Okay, not good. All right, but gasoline, that air fuel mixture is ignited by a spark.
Right.
And the diesel fuel is ignited by compression. So it's just the built up pressure that it eventually reaches a point where it's going to ignite because it has high pressure. So other than that, higher compression ratio engines in diesel, and they don't have spark. Other than that, there's 4-stroke engines. They operate the same way. A lot of the components are the same. AC components are the same. Measuring engine components are the same. Steering, suspension, everything's very similar, except it's usually a lot bigger because it's on a bigger vehicle. Right. So a lot of the stuff we teach still transfers over to some of that stuff. Like some of the stations in there was AC or measuring and live engine testing, all that stuff. We use all that stuff on gas cars.
So that would have been totally familiar.
Yeah, so it transfers over. But he does have other experience in diesel, and I'll let Jake talk to that, where he gets some of his experience with that.
I worked for my dad since I was about 10. He taught me all the fundamentals, the tractor trailers, equipment, forklifts, and stuff. And then I just started a co-op job with Advantage Truck Group in Westfield by the Turnpike. And they've been teaching me more in depth how to diagnose diesel engines and trucks and then properly repair them.
And so when you got down to Atlanta and competed, two things. When he's competing, is it timed? Okay.
Yes.
So you're watching Mr. Rainey, and you got. Can you call timeout and pump him up? Is he sweating bullets? And he needs to get himself like, okay, Jake, listen. All right, we got to take a break. You're losing it. Let's refocus. Can we do that?
No, it's encouraged not to talk to the contestants.
Okay. So there's no coaching.
No.
Okay.
So your role is supervision and moral support.
Yeah, moral support. So if he looks over and sees us there, like, okay, we're morally supporting him.
You're not slapping him across the face, telling him to get a hold of himself.
Yeah, we didn't have signs.
Holding up.
Okay, Coach Daly.
Give a little fist bump.
Yeah, right. And then, so Jake, tell us so you get down there, you compete, and when it's all said and done, how did we do? What was our final results here?
I believe I got 19th out of 38 or 48.
Nice.
I'm not sure which one it was. I just know it was 19th.
And that's amazing. As it's
Basically top 20,
top 20
which is phenomenal.
in the country, right?
Yep.
And I'm assuming I'd like to assume that you're going to go for it again as a senior.
Yes, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
There were a few things in there I didn't know, like, I'll be honest, at all.
Yeah.
There's some hydraulic work I've never even touched.
Right.
So it was a little bit of guessing
Yeah.
in there, but I think I did pretty good for a first time ever.
And
Having experienced a couple of things that you didn't know, have you had a chance to connect with them since you've been back? Like hydraulics, have you had a chance to work with that and develop some kind of familiarity?
Yes, my work said they'd help train me with that. I told them everything that was in the test there, and then they told me that they do offer a way to train me on that.
Excellent.
So I'm going to try and learn that over the school year. We did a little bit more in the summer on live engine testing.
So thanks to ATG for helping us out with that. And if you have a tractor trailer, make sure you bring it by them and have Mr. Tulumis bring it by and have him take a look at it. Mrs. B, what is up for the year for skills, right? So what do we have going on for the planned future for
Very
Skills
aggressive
USA?
schedule, Mrs. B, right?
Yes, very aggressive schedule. They're back on track with in person.
Yeah.
What works, though, is district being online. The grades are done like immediately, and they can work that out. So
no traveling for districts.
no, we'll still be here for
This
district.
is in the long ago and far away, we used to truck up to McCann Tech.
Yes, we did, and we're still competing regionally or in districts. We're still competing against 9 other vocational
Right.
high schools in the western part of the state, and then. Everybody that gets a gold and silver will travel on to states. That's going to be a 3-day event, in 2 nights.
That's usually the week after April vacation,
Yeah.
last week of April.
April 27th through the 29th this year. So that's a big competition. We have our sail competition going on February 9th for seniors. That's Seniors Advancing in Leadership. So hopefully that's at Gillette Stadium. Hopefully Jake will like to attend that
That'll be nice,
this
yeah.
year. And we have a MRE challenge for culinary arts. Massachusetts Army National Guard puts that on. That's January 26th out in Natick, Mass. And the kids compete with the medical ration.
The little food
The
packets.
little food,
Yeah. Yeah.
Something ready. And so they have to bake a dessert and an entree and a beverage.
Out of MRE,
and
which
a-
is
and an appetizer.
Sounds delicious.
that's no small accomplishment if you've ever sampled MRE before.
And there's a big Fall State Leadership Conference coming up November 20th and 21st.
Nice.
So
How many
that's
members
big.
do we have currently?
Well, right now we just have 7 officers.
Okay.
And they're meeting September 29th after school. There's a big advisor kickoff boot camp going on October 6th, and then we will recruit with the teachers for the best of the best, and we'll put our cohort together, and we'll have our first big general Skills USA meeting in October.
Nice. President Cooper, thank you for
Yeah.
joining. No.
He's busy with co-op and studying for this. Yeah.
Well, actually, to you two, Mr. Rainey and Mrs. Blargen, thanks for doing that over the summer, and that's a pretty big commitment. I know Mr. Rainey's got little kids, and he took off for a little
Very
bit of
big
time,
commitment.
and we appreciate definitely for sure help going down with Jake and where is it this year? Where's Jake taking us this year?
Well, it's still Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, it is again?
Yeah,
Okay.
for the next 10 years, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Book the Georgia Convention Center down there.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to go Tiger Talk Live out of Atlanta.
Yeah,
That
would
wouldn't be
a-
horrible.
A great trip.
That'd be fun.
That wouldn't be horrible.
Do you want to roll out to a tune right now,
I
guys?
think it's time for a break.
Thanks for
so,
joining us, Jacob. Great job. Keep up the good work on the co-op, and thanks for coming on. And we'll check in again later on
We'll
this
be
year.
back with a Lukrensky report and other radio delights as soon as we've taken a moment for station break. Stay tuned.
Writing for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Good morning again, Westfield. Welcome back to Tiger Talk Live, all things Westfield Technical Academy. In the flow with Carol, Kev, and Joe for the 2022-2023 school year.
Flowing. Yep,
like
going.
the river flowing, that's right. Mr. Coles, I believe I have a Lekrensky report ready if you want to cue the background.
There we go.
So we've got some phenomenal attendance here, especially on the part of our new ninth graders. We have 97% attendance for the week ending September 9th, last week. Juniors, we're at, let's see, we're going, the juniors, sophomores, 96%, juniors, 95%, and the seniors at 94%. So our attendance is extremely
average.
solid.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the freshmen who, as is indicated by their attendance, are doing a really good job getting themselves integrated into the WTA community for sure.
Yeah, and hopefully this week we wouldn't expect attendance to be off this in the beginning of the year like that. We expect it to be high in the 90s, so that's good.
No, but I'm really optimistic too about this particular class. They seem so far, early reports from all corners of the academy are that this is a really, really solid group of kids,
Including seniors saying that.
Exactly.
They're very pleased with the kids in general.
Well, they went through a rigorous application process, and they earned their way in here. So, which we are going through. We didn't get exactly the number that, we lost a couple that were supposed to come here that ended up going somewhere else. But
that we offered a place to, and they chose others.
But I'll tell you what, I can't. Coming off of 2 years of, the end of COVID and then a full year of COVID, and then this is the first year we actually got a chance to go through the whole process, really get a full 7th and 8th grade year in and check that out, plus an interview with the kids, which was great. Right. So I'm happy. They seem like they're doing pretty good. I know lunch when I see them in the halls, they're all doing great.
They've been model citizens in the cafeteria, really, and that's typically a difficult spot for students, right? So,
transitioning well.
Yep.
Yeah. And we can talk about transitioning and how the freshmen are doing and attendance, because we got the guy to the right of me, stage left, if you will. That's TV talk, Mr. Hastings. You wouldn't get it yet. But we got Bruce Hastings with us, our new assistant principal. How you doing, Bruce?
TV
Doing great.
So, Bruce, you just started this year here, but this is not your first time in Westfield, is it?
No, I actually started at South Middle School back in 1998. Was there for a good 15 years. Got transferred here to the Voc. At the time, it was called the Voc. Was here for a couple years and loved it.
Yeah,
absolutely loved it. Went off to a couple other districts to kind of get my feet wet in administration, and as soon as this opened up, jumped all over it. Wanted to come back here.
How's it going so far? What do you think?
Great.
Yeah,
awesome. All my expectations are. It's an easy transition, seamless.
Even with the guidance counselors?
Even with the guidance counselors.
That's a zing.
We zing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a tough group over there.
Yeah, they are tough.
Not at all.
So, Bruce, when you got here around the same time I did, right?
I think the same year.
Yeah. Would you notice a difference between when we started?
Well, when we started, it was a little rough.
Yeah.
But that's when it started to change.
Yeah.
Mr. Zaporowski was the principal, new at the time, and immediate change. I think we went level 4 to level 1.
Yeah, it took us
within a year and a
yeah,
half.
I think we did a couple of years, and
Yeah.
we pumped it up.
But just a great atmosphere. The
Yeah.
whole atmosphere changed in
Yeah.
the first year I was here.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And that was that was when the movement of college was becoming ridiculously expensive. Our enrollment started growing, right?
Yeah,
And then-
I think those were the first years we
Yeah.
actually had a small waiting list for,
Yeah.
for the freshman group.
And now this year we went 220 applicants. We accepted
more than that.
Was it?
Mhm.
It accepted 160-ish.
Yeah.
And we're right
I
around.
think this year was the largest number of applicants in my tenure,
Yeah.
which
So-
is excellent.
So it was great.
And actually, Bruce and I had the opportunity, although I didn't remember him, he remembered me when we interviewed. We had the opportunity to meet in the year before I got here when I was still a principal in Ludlow, because we did a year-long PD together in Belchertown. So, so thank you for remembering me. I'm glad it wasn't a horrible memory.
No, not at all.
Bruce, what about tell us a little bit about your admin career. So when did you you said you dabbled in it. Where were you? What'd you do? What were some of the things you were in charge of?
I left here in 2015 in the middle of the year. I went to Belchertown High School as the Dean of Students and Athletic Director. Not a job I wish on too many people.
Well, one is difficult enough, but the two of them together.
Together, it was for very long days. Very often it was 7 in the morning till 10:30 at night before I headed home. Then our assistant principal left, and I kind of added on interim assistant principal while still doing my own, so that made it even worse. But it was a great school, great principal. Christine Vigneault is a legend up there. She's been the principal for over 20-something years. It was awesome. It was a great experience. One of the advantages of the athletic director and being an administrator is you get to know a lot more of the kids that you don't normally see as an administrator, because we obviously deal with sometimes the disciplinary things, but you get to see the other kids who are involved in athletics. After that, I moved over to South Hadley Middle School, the Michael E. Smith Middle School. Was there for 3.5 years. I love the middle school age level, but when this
you don't hear that often.
Well, 15 years teaching in the classroom
Yeah.
at South Middle, you learn to like that age group.
Yeah.
My dad.
It's a
my
very
dad is
special
yes, it
type.
does. You have to want to be at the middle
Yeah,
school.
that's right.
Yeah.
You can't fake it there. And when I saw an opportunity to come back to Westfield, I wanted to try that at the end of my career. And then when this one came up, that was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely no-brainer. This is a great place. I've stayed in touch with Stefan through the years, especially during COVID. You reach out to other districts just to see what they were doing for certain things. And he was always great about getting back to me right away, and this is what we're doing. And so no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're glad to have you.
Well, for us,
Glad to be
when we interviewed Bruce, what the committee did, I mean, he was head and shoulders, right, Mrs. Groom?
Absolutely.
In the interview, and brought a lot of background, which was nice, and you some PBIS background, and so that was huge for us. And
tribute to that. Remember when I formed the committee, I said, "Give me 2 finalists," and when you both came to me, you said, "Well, we only really have
we got one. Yeah.
And that, of course, yes, it made my job easy, but it also said a lot about somebody that I didn't. Well, at least I didn't remember that I knew at that point. But yeah.
Yeah. And I would say, Joe, the transition's been pretty smooth with
Very
us.
smooth.
With us,
Very
so
smooth.
I think that
It's always hard to enter into a team that's been formed for a while. I had the same experience when I came here with you and Mr. Olari, God rest him, and Mr. Talumis. It's hard to become part of somebody else's team.
Right.
But the good news is that I think we all have a lot of respect for each other. We all have a tremendous capacity for the absurd,
yes,
which is very important
sure.
in the setting of public education. And I think we know, to quote Galen Wilson from Aviation Tech, we know how to get the job done.
That's it, and we do. Yep. So with Bruce, it's allowed us to change our roles a little bit and pick up the slack where maybe I know last year with you out, it was there was a lot going on.
Last year was complicated.
Yeah. So for
but
me,
you guys,
yeah.
and it had nothing to do with me. You guys did a turnkey job on things.
Well, we got through it, and I think a lot of that was Mrs. Groom, pseudo assistant principal last year, many times. But we,
That's pseudo. She's not fake.
Whoa, true. Okay. Well, she was
Acting. We'll call it
acting.
acting.
Okay. So,
Acting.
anyway, yeah. So I mean, we muddled
Nothing
through it.
fake about you, Mrs.
Nothing.
Well, thank
No,
you.
muddled through it, and it's nice to have Bruce here, and we can finally solidify what's going on and get us back on track. And I'm assuming we're gonna have a full staff the whole year, and we'll keep it that way.
Yes.
We're 99.999% of the way there. We're still in need of a math teacher, so I put that out there publicly. If there's anybody who is otherwise qualified and interested in applying for the job, there is an active posting on School Spring. Still looking for a shop assistant in collision, and we'll be vetting candidates for a shop assistant in horticulture in October when the current occupant of that position retires.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And this is not an uncommon thing right now in education, where there are openings, when the year starts and continuing into the year, which is sort of unfortunate. But it is what it is, as they say, right?
It's a difficult time in public education.
Yeah.
People are not entering or staying in the way that they used to. Hopefully, it's just a minor blip on the radar.
That's it. Mr. Hastings, what we do with the newbies, and technically you're not a newbie, but you are. So we like to get a little background on everybody and share it with the community. Oh, by the way, we're probably ratings-wise, I feel good about the opening
Feel good?
show.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's important.
Maybe
Gotta
6,
go
7
in
views on YouTube. So if you
confident.
want to check us out, you can look at us on YouTube. But Mrs. Groom, do you have? We usually do a quick 5 questions with the new guy or gal.
It's called the Fast Five.
Fast 5, just to get us going a little
Yeah.
bit.
Do we have any music, Pete?
I don't know. Pete, we working? No,
All
we're
right.
not.
So we're gonna go with the Fast Five.
Go
Is
ahead.
the answer quick? No, not a lot of thought.
Do the best I can.
All right. Favorite music genre.
Rock.
Favorite vacation destination.
Hilton Head.
Favorite restaurant.
7Bs.
If you could meet someone famous, who would it be?
Ted Williams.
And then if you were a student at WTA, what shop would you choose?
That's a tough one. Probably horticulture, because I've worked at a golf course for 22 years, so out on the grounds.
That's a good question. I love that last
that's
question,
my
especially with the with the people that are just.
I had a
coming in.
feeling that's what you were going to say.
Yeah.
We as you could tell by his answers, Bruce is into. Could you tell by the answers, Mrs. Groom?
What?
He's a golfer and into baseball.
No, I couldn't
Ted
tell.
Williams,
Of course I could tell.
Hilton
You
Head.
know what I was going to say, too, is that he likes rock music. And I was going to say he fits in just perfect with his theme.
Yes,
Mainly,
the hairband.
I'm mainly a deadhead, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm a very
I'm not a good poker player.
Oh, Mrs.
right there,
Groom.
Mrs.
Yeah,
Groom.
yeah. So, why don't we do this, guys? Since it seems I don't want Mrs. Groom to derail here. Why don't we talk about what's going on with the menu at Tiger's Pride?
Okay.
We'll take a little music break. We'll come back and we'll talk sports. We'll keep Mr. Hastings on. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's got a good sports background too. We'll
That's
talk
true.
about.
We're going to do
Westfield-
picks today?
Yeah, we'll do some football picks. We'll let Mr. Hastings. You want to be part of the picks for the year, Mr. Hastings?
Sure.
So we'll do that. Let's get to the menu.
Strictly for entertainment
Oh, yeah. Of
course,
purposes. You know,
absolutely.
nothing
It's
here
no
that-
gambling,
that's
no
no
gambling,
gambling
not here.
involved.
So Tiger's Pride's open daily today, 10:45 to 12:15. Soups are corn chowder or beef barley. The salad today is the grilled chicken Caesar salad. That is grilled marinated chicken breast served on top of classic Caesar salad tossed with romaine hearts, Parmesan cheese, croutons, and tomatoes.
Always a favorite.
Yes, it was delicious. I had it yesterday. The restaurant was open yesterday. That was fabulous. The entrees are balsamic glazed caprese chicken, seared boneless, skinless chicken thighs with garlic, tomatoes, basil, and fresh mozzarella cheese, finished with balsamic glaze, served with rice pilaf and fresh broccoli. That's going home. Mr. Groom, that's what's for dinner.
Yep.
And margarita pizza, classic margarita pizza with fresh mozzarella, basil, and tomatoes, served with a petite salad and choice of dressing. And then this is the sandwich of the day.
Yes.
It is a Cuban pork panini, pulled pork with sliced ham, Swiss cheese, pickle, and garlic aioli, grilled on choice of bread, served with chef's side and a pickle.
I'm thinking that's what Mr. Daly's having for
Well,
lunch.
it's funny you say that, guys, because I'm a big panini guy.
You're a big pork fan.
And I
as
do
well.
like the pork. But so
Big fan of-
however, I think I'm going to go with the chicken today.
Ah, see?
It's outside my box.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were open yesterday. Shrimp scampi, meatloaf
Delicious.
were the entrees. Brought
The
them home.
meatloaf was excellent.
Yeah,
got the meatloaf,
brought
right?
both
Yeah.
those home to my mother, Shirley. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Cheryl's.
And she loved it, and she's got meals for days.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Mrs. Groom. Great job
Yeah,
with that.
thank you.
Nice. If you, again, 10:30 to
10:45.
10:45 to
15.
So-
And if you want to call in your order, 564-3123.
Everything's available for takeout.
That's it. Good business. All right, Pete, let's hit one more song before we come back for a little sports
All
corner.
right, stay tuned.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And we're back. Welcome back to Westfield Technical Academy's Tiger Talk Live, all things WTA. In the flow with Carol, Kev, Joe, and Bruce Hastings this morning, our special guest.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You've already been here. Yeah. So welcome again.
Welcome home.
Welcome back.
So
Welcome home.
final segment of the show, guys, is usually a sports corner. Sometimes we have a student on to join us, but not today. But I think we should still talk about what's going on athletically at the school. As you guys, Bruce, I don't know if you know, but we have, as our enrollment has increased, our athletic involvement has increased as well, which has been awesome. So we've picked up some co-ops with some others, with Westfield High for swimming and wrestling and skiing, lacrosse. I mean, things we've never,
Right.
ice hockey.
Yep.
I know you're a hockey guy, so I
Yep.
mean one of the things that was hurting us with applicants sometime was, do you have this sport that I can play? I've been playing it for 10 years. Hockey kids, right?
Right.
I've been playing hockey since I've been 4 years old.
Getting up at 3 in the morning.
And
to
I really want to
practice,
come
so
to
yeah.
Westfield Tech.
Hockey, wrestling, even.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I really want to come to Westfield Tech, but you guys don't offer it.
Right.
So or football is one of the big ones right now.
Yeah.
That's big talk about. We don't make the rules on that, as you guys know. If you know, that's the MAA rule, and if the supporting school doesn't need help, then we can't help. So
Being a former athletic director,
Yeah.
I voted on many of those co-ops.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting process.
yeah, and we're sort of that anomaly where we're two schools in one in the city of Westfield, and
Yep.
I don't know that anybody has our situation like we have it. Joe,
No, Springfield, the schools, and I speak from that context because I was at Putnam for many years. The schools were always large enough to support their own
Right.
programs. Chicopee, I think, is even in the same situation.
Yeah, they do their own thing. So,
Right.
so hopefully, I know I would guarantee us, right, Mrs. Groom, that we lose 5 to 6 kids.
Yes.
That
was kind of
every year
the freshmen.
because they want to play football,
Right.
and they're more often than not they're kids that would be so successful here.
But stay tuned. That's always subject to change.
Yep. So it's not on our part that we don't want to
Right.
that we don't want to do
Correct.
it. So, but anyway, we do have this in the fall. We have cross country, which we've never had before. And Mr. Figgy and Mr. Morrill are coaching those guys. We're got to be in year 4, at least 4 or 5.
I think
of
it's
that.
5. I think it was started my second year, at the beginning of my second year.
Numbers are doing well there. And then we have golf. Golf is 3-0 right now. I didn't know if you guys knew that. And Mr.
Great.
Hastings, you're an avid golfer, correct?
I am an avid golfer. I am an addicted golfer.
Shout out to Mr. Hastings, guys. I don't know if you know this, but he qualified and played in the Massachusetts State. What was it? The
Senior amateur.
Senior amateur.
I don't like that senior.
I know. I wasn't sure if I was going to
55
say
and over.
senior. Yeah.
55 and over.
And in order to play in that, guys, you got to really be
You're
able to hit the ball.
mostly in good company here, Mr.
Congratulations.
Hastings.
So Mr. Hastings will be doing golf lessons for all of us,
Oh, great.
starting in the
That's
spring.
awesome.
Very good.
As you know, that's a sport I've been wanting
Yes.
to
Yep.
pick up.
And he's also offered to get us a membership at the ranch. So thank you, Mr. Hastings, for
Excellent.
doing that. I appreciate that. So our golf team is 3-0. We're doing well. We got. I'm just trying to think off my head. I know we have Devin Rubiscus on there that does well. I think one of the Knappich boys. I know we have Ella. She's our female golfer. I don't know if we got another female
She
playing.
might be the only one at this point.
And Coach Eck is the coach there, and he's doing a great job. So shout out to those guys. Our boys soccer team, 9-0.
against Putnam.
0, which
Putnam.
is blows me away.
And you know, Mr. Delude, I can't get into the kids right now. 9-0. Probably everybody scored, right? But
The list was long. I saw.
yeah.
Yeah. There was
But
4,
Mr.
5, 6 guys that scored.
Mr. Coach Delude, it's a we always say that he doesn't rebuild, he reloads. He has a great program going on here, and he gets the kids to perform. And
Has for years.
Yep.
And it's based on good sportsmanship and,
Yep.
and being loving your teammates.
Yeah.
It's a great program.
Yep, he does a great job with those guys, and we expect him to continue. And of course, for women's soccer, Mr. Brown is stepping in right now for Mr.
right.
Washington. So, good wishes for Mr. Washington if you're listening out there. Rest up, right?
Mr. Brown's doing a great job
Yep.
picking up the slack as he always does.
Yep, and I love it because of all our sports, you see their jerseys when game days, and it seems like we're seeing more and more
Yes.
purple shirts and white shirts going. So
it's great.
that means more kids are getting involved. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Lots of shirts among our freshmen at lunch, I see, which
I
makes
see
me
that.
really
They're very-
happy.
They're very
Yeah.
proud to wear them
Yep.
as well.
That's good. So we're what we do, Mr. Hastings, at the end when we have some time, we talk about little sports. We talk about NFL. We talk about local teams, and And obviously Westville Tech is first, but we will do some picks here for NFL, so we'll go around the table here. And again, at the end of the season, we'll have a winner just for bragging rights
only.
Or maybe a lunch at Tiger's Pride. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But the first game is tonight. It's the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe, who are you going to go with?
Chargers.
You're going to go with the Chargers, okay? And Mrs. Groom?
Yeah, I'm going to go for the Chiefs.
You're going to go Chiefs. Mr. Daly's going to go Chiefs. And Mr. Hastings?
Yeah, I got to go Chiefs at Arrowhead.
That's Arrowhead with Patrick Mahomes. All right, we're good.
Langoni's feeling a little frisky on the Chargers there.
There you go. Go for it.
I added this late entry because we all, some you either hate or love Tom Brady right now. So Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. Joe?
Tampa.
Carol?
I'll go with Tampa.
Yep, I'm going to go with Tampa, too.
Clean sweep.
Okay,
Tampa.
Mr. Hastings, Tampa.
You guys are all going to lose. New Orleans had a big comeback victory last week.
I know.
So
Pete.
Pete's going for the
Well,
Pete. We could make a note for Pete, but he's not always here. New England and Pittsburgh. It's at Pittsburgh, guys, and Pittsburgh's coming off a pretty big victory. So here we go, Joe.
Not indicating any interior preference, but Pittsburgh, just because I think they have the edge at home.
Okay, Joe's going Pittsburgh.
Patriots.
Okay, Carol. I'll go with the Patriots. And Mr. Hastings?
I think I'll go with Pittsburgh at home.
Okay. I think you're right, but I'm going yeah. All right, Chicago at Green Bay. Now, Mr. Hastings is a big Green Bay Packers fan.
There is no argument here.
At Green Bay, at Lambeau Field. So Joe's gonna go Green Bay.
No question.
Carol is too.
I think it's a clean sweep here, Mr. Hastings. I'm just gonna put Mr. Hastings down for Green Bay.
If they perform like they did last week, Mr. Hastings may not show up to work Monday.
All right, and Monday night there's two games. We're just gonna pick one. We have Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, I always Buffalo. Shout out to my father-in-law, Paul Adamzak, who's a Buffalo native. Always Buffalo.
No doubt. Carol?
Tennessee.
Carol's going to be the...
Unless you're Mrs. Groom.
I'm going to go Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo at home on a Monday night? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Bruce. Okay. That's some easy picks, actually, to be honest.
Not bad this week, yeah.
I say easy, we'll all go over. So who knows? And last but not least, we got a couple minutes here. Mrs. Groom, why don't you tell us what's going on in NASCAR?
The NASCAR minute?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the race is going to be on the 17th in Bristol.
Is that going to Bristol?
Yep. You
Tennessee.
got it.
Tennessee.
You're right.
Yep, got it.
And
It's the playoffs.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep.
So, big news.
What is the big news in NASCAR?
You know what the big news is?
Joe,
I
you want
do
to tell
not.
us?
No?
Mr.
I do
Hastings,
not.
you know what the big news is that
I
happened
am,
a couple
but
days
I'm
ago?
all over goose
Are they going to
pimples
take left
hear
turns
it.
versus right turns
No,
this week?
they're not
That's
gonna
about
do
all
it.
I know.
They're
Only
not
at
gonna
Watkins Glen.
I'm
That's it.
champing at the bit to find
us.
out.
Kyle
Mrs.
Busch. Kyle Busch. He's not going to be driving for Gibbs anymore.
Not driving
No.
for Gibbs.
Wow.
Switching over.
What?
To
Keith-
RCR.
Is that Keith Gibbs?
Kyle, are you kidding?
No, who's Gibbs?
Oh.
Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs.
Oh, no.
I
no,
knew that one.
Pete, please don't give me the answer because this is all to
Carol's
going to
get the merit.
cornered.
Yep.
And so I'm gonna rise to this occasion.
Okay, you did well.
He's moving
so
over
far.
to drive for Childress.
Yeah.
Richard
Correct.
Childress
Yeah,
Racing.
RCR. You got
Richard
it.
Childress Racing. All right,
Yeah.
so that's pretty big news. Kyle Busch,
That
one of
is.
the top drivers out there.
Absolutely.
Do you have a pick for this week?
I did make note of Denny Hamlin.
You want to go Hamlin?
I do. Are we
Okay.
going to do a backup pick?
For what, last week?
You know how we used to pick two?
Oh yeah. You know what? Let's do this. Let's just wet our whistle with where we're
one.
racing and what's going on.
Okay.
I don't think Joe, if I gave him the list of racers, would know one.
I would have to
So-
do some research. It's
so-
not my bailiwick.
Yeah,
NASCAR.
let's do this. Why don't we put Bristol on pause? And Bristol's a great race, by the way, guys. If you've never seen racing, this is a short track race. A lot of beating and banging, a lot of tempers flying. There could be fights. Why don't we table this for picks? But next week, the
well,
following
you
week,
know what? We will table it, but who's your pick?
I don't know. Yeah.
No. Rise to the occasion.
Okay.
On the
All right,
spot.
I will go with Joey Logano. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was another
All right.
one on my
So a little sliced bread from Connecticut.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So we'll do that. What do you think, guys? Did we cover everything we had to cover for
I think we're in
Westfield
good shape
Tech?
with a couple of minutes to spare. So
Yeah, that's good.
we just want to let our listeners know that next week we're going to have a best of broadcast. I know right out of the chute that's a little unusual, but Mr. Talumas and I are going to be at the 104th for the annual chamber breakfast.
Right.
Mr. Daly's going to be on special assignment.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Groom, as always, is up to her eyeballs with God only knows what. And Mr. Hastings is going to be running the fort until Mr. Talumas and I get back. So we're going to take a pause next week, but we will be back on the
Got it.
29th. So we wish you all a good rest of the week, a great weekend, and we look forward to being with you again in a couple of weeks.
All right, see you guys later.
Thank you.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank,